One of Nigeria's foremost communication experts, Richie Dio Johnson, would have clocked 61 today if he had not given in to the cold hands of death earlier this month. Olawakon came across a virtual memorial held for him by some of his proteges.
I must say that I thoroughly liked
his presence on the set of the Debaters reality TV show in 2009 impacted the lives of participants and the viewers in general.
One word you butchered, the word is colonialism.
As a highly sought-after international keynote speaker, he was keen on breeding professionals. He was the lead judge on the program, and participants held a virtual memorial in his honor.
RDJ was a deeply spiritual person.
They describe him as a core professional who gave opportunities to many talented youth.
That he gave me my first radio program. Immediately after the Debaters TV reality show, I went to him. Then he was head of Radio Continental, and I had some moments with him, and he said, "Hey, why don't you just send me a synopsis for this radio program?" I did, and I got an approval immediately.
He was good at pinpointing exactly what it was that your unique gift looked like and what you needed to make it the best that it could be.
It is not a very enjoyable place to be.
RDJ was an alumnus of the prestigious University of Teesside, Middlesbrough, and a fellow of the Royal Society of Arts, a certified coach, and an accomplished Toastmaster.
It was a torch. I'm always igniting the fire and the talent that everyone had in them. No one was too small for RDJ to teach, and no one was too big for RDJ to reach.
You couldn't walk into a place and then you wouldn't notice his wit, his wisdom, his dynamism, his large heart, his sense of humor, sense of style, his charisma.
At the end of our lives, we do not regret the things at which we failed. We will only regret those things that we wished for, but we never attempted.
The former director of radio services at Continental Broadcasting Services, now TVC Communications, died in London. He would have been 61 today.
He was a lovely gentleman, and his memory lives on right there.
Ola Awakon, TVC News, Lagos.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
RDJ, as it was fondly called here as director of the then Radio Continental, left indeed an indelible mark on many. One of them is Mark Otabo, who joins me on the news now. Mark, you worked with RDJ for some years. Tell me about your fondest memory of him.
Oh, well, RDJ was, thank you for having me very quickly. RDJ was a very remarkable gentleman and a very amazing father to say the least. He's one gentleman you would be with, and you would have to start reconsidering your stand in life, generally. And the closer I got to him, I got to discover that he's this kind of an individual who doesn't like people to be too sentimental. The moment he notices that you're trying to wallow in pity and in your problems, he talks you out of it. And he's someone who is very professional in what he does, and he's one director that I've noticed that whenever you're on air, he listens to you, takes down notes. You come back, he tells you this is where you go. Next time you have to correct yourself and do the right thing because you're actually talking to the audience and people are listening. And he was more of making you stay, upbeat with whatever it is you're doing. So in actual fact, being with him was quite remarkable because every time you wake up, you know you're going to face, that man in the office. He has something to tell you every time.
Interestingly, a few days before he died, a colleague had walked up to me, adjusted my tie, and said, "That's exactly what RDJ would have done." Tell me about that grooming side
Absolutely. See, he was very, very concerned about outfits. He would tell you, look, being a professional, you have to show it to the world because you are not just dealing with your local people, you're dealing with the international community. In fact, RDJ was one of the individuals who made me use Twitter. He would tell me, "Mark, you don't tweet. I noticed you don't use the social media as efficient as you can. Remember, you are not just broadcasting to Lagosians, you're broadcasting to the international community." And I remember him asking me, "Do you want to be a local champion?" These questions actually brought to mind as to the kind of person he was. He was very thorough in whatever he does, and he'll be fondly missed. In fact, the last time we had a communication, he was the time when Rugged Man was attacked in London. He got across to me on Twitter and said, what happened to the young man? He knew I would have the story. He was someone who followed the development of young people, and he wanted to find out and know at every point in time how they were progressing.
So he left the shores of Nigeria, but indeed he didn't leave much because he actually left a lot for people who indeed interacted with him.
He'll be remembered. He'll be remembered. Now, there was one quote he had, very popular quote. He says, what you do for yourself, you take to the grave, but what you do for others, you leave behind. So
interestingly, that was what he said, you know, just the day before he died, during one of the webinars that he had. It was just as if he knew that he was going to leave.
Absolutely. He will be fondly missed, and I just hope his family are able to bear the loss at this point. But of course, he has left a mark in the lives of individuals, millions all over the world, and he'll be forever remembered. Thank you.
Richie Dyer Johnson will be greatly missed. Marco Tabo, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.